Hey everybody, Scott Steen with winnersandwhiners.com, coming to you from the Mike Adamley studio deep below the earth at the Winners and Whiners Sports and Entertainment Complex to talk a little Camping World Bowl between the West Virginia Mountaineers and the Syracuse Orange. Games being played at 5:15 Eastern Time down there in Orlando, Florida. Let me tell you something. Here's how these teams shape up. Syracuse 9-3 straight up, 8-4 against the number, and 7-5 overs versus unders. While the West Virginia Mountaineers are 8-3 straight up, 7-3-1 against the spread, and 7 overs versus 4 unders. Now, there should be a big fat double asterisk on that last set of numbers because, as you probably have heard, starting quarterback Will Grier is going to sit this one out for the West Virginia Mountaineers, and it's kind of a weird thing. He was not guaranteed a spot as a first round pick. I would think that we could that the way to do that would have been to have him maybe play his way into the first round or solidify his spot. He's a darn fine quarterback. I'm not sure he's quite good enough to sit out, but the game doesn't mean enough to him. His teammates apparently don't mean enough to him, and he's sitting it out. I know. You got to take care of your business, take care of your family, and all that. The other thing that's not getting nearly as much pub, his starting left tackle, Yadni Kajus, is also sitting out. He's been a stalwart there, keeping the pressure off of Will Grier, and his absence is going to be felt very, very strongly by the Mountaineers. And it matters because what Syracuse does better than anything else is they bring the pressure all night long, okay? You've got two teams, by the way, that feel very different about being here. West Virginia was 5-0 at one point, and they had dreams of New Year's Day games dancing around in their head, and maybe, dare I even say it, being part of the playoff conversation. Then Iowa State exposed their defense, and they ended up losing 3 of their last 6, and over those 6, they gave up an average of 466.5 yards per game. Not good. Syracuse, on the other hand, is on the upswing. They've lost 3 games this year, and 2 of those teams are in the playoffs. Clemson and Notre Dame, and then another fine team in the Pittsburgh Panthers. They beat 5 bowl teams, and while West Virginia beat 4 bowl teams on their own, they did that all with Will Grier. And I don't know if I mentioned or not, he's not playing. Like I said, Syracuse, they do it with pressure. They're second in the country in creating turnovers with 30 turnovers, and they are third in turnover margin. So they create a lot of turnovers, and they take good care of the ball themselves. And that is going to be bad news for backup quarterback Jack Allison for the Mountaineers. The West Virginia defense, as I mentioned, is not very good, and the secondary is very, very bad. That should be good news for Syracuse quarterback Eric Dungy, throwing 15 passing touchdowns this year, and has rushed for another 17 scores. That's 32 touchdowns he has personally accounted for. I'm sure he is licking his chops at the prospect of facing this West Virginia defense. For me, there's too much Orange D and not nearly enough West Virginia D. Give me the Syracuse Orange. I'll eat the 2 points, and I think they get it done. Get down with me on the Syracuse Orange -2. At the end of this game, we will be heading back to the window. Take care, everybody.